What's up, you guys? It's your girl Mo Christine. On today's episode of Kicking It, we've got Laron, aka Noralthecobbler, on Instagram. Now, he reconstructs shoes. They look so bomb, and he also runs classes so you can learn too. Definitely had to get him on. So let's go. All right, hello.
What's going on?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So thanks for kicking it with me. Super excited. I found your page and I was automatically drawn just because you reconstruct kicks.
Yes. I take apart pre-existing shoes, remake the pattern, any kind of material that I want to make. If I want to add to the shoe, if I want to take away from it, and just put it back together and put it back on the sole that it came on.
That takes a lot of talent. But for those that may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. All right. Well, my first name is Laron, but I go by Noralthecobbler on Instagram. I do primarily sneaker restoration, but I also do sneaker deconstruction and reconstruction, as well as doing sneaker making classes here in Atlanta. I'm from New Jersey, but I just moved to Atlanta maybe 2 years ago, and I've been doing some restoration work out here and holding a couple classes.
Nice. Okay, so before this whole reconstructing restoration start, when did the love for kicks start for you?
Well, I mean, I like kicks ever since I was a kid in the 90s. I always liked having, I liked sneakers that I couldn't get as a kid. Once I turned 18, 19, I got my first real job out of high school, and then I just started buying all the sneakers that I wanted as a kid that were coming out. So that's kind of where it started as a kid. And then when I got old enough, I was able to buy the shoes that I wanted. So it started out as collecting. I've always been an artist my whole entire life. I was doing hand-painted t-shirts first, tote bags, and then it moved over to sneakers. I had a friend of mine who had, I think he scuffed his sneakers on the curb or something like that, his playoff 12s. And he wanted me to repaint them for him because they were, I guess the white foam was showing through it. And he was just like, hey, if I buy the paint, can you repaint them? And I was just like, all right, yeah, sure. So he sends them to me, and then I do the painting for him, and then I post them on Facebook. And then after that, I just started getting a lot of people who were asking me to restore their shoes or even just clean them for them. So that's where it started.
You said your love for kicks started young. Do you remember that pair that you're just like, I gotta get that? Like, you're young, so you couldn't get it, but there's a pair that you always had your eye on.
Yeah, I have these moments of like, when I was in school and I used to see like, some of my classmates with like sneakers, and I still remember these moments. I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and they had the Deion Sanders Turf Raiders that came out. The 49ers colorway. I definitely wanted those. And then there was the Jordan 12 flu game. I was in 5th grade then. I was just like losing my mind. I was like, I wanted them so bad. Another one is probably the Olive Jordan 9. I was in summer camp, but I can't remember what age I was. I remember exactly what summer camp I was in at the time, but I can't remember how old I was. And I remember when that shoe came out. Don't have the Olive 9, but I have everything else.
Isn't it crazy how like you remember the shoe and it's like linked to a childhood memory, like the shoe. Oh,
yeah,
crazy. True definition of a sneaker lover, Okay, so you said you painted your friend's shoe, and that kind of it started from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when did you say, all right, maybe I should take this a little serious and start a little something with it?
Well, when I started having people bring 10 sneakers to me at a time, so I worked for a little bit. I have a degree in IT, so I was working an IT job and doing the restoration at night after work. And then when I just started to get a little bit more consistent work coming in, I would take these contract jobs for a couple months and then stop for a couple months and then do that just to test it out to see how it would work. And then I'd be like, all right, now I'm ready to go back to work for a little bit because I'm not getting any money now. You know what I mean? So I want to say it was 2017. I just said I'm just gonna go 100%. Because I was already making shoes for maybe about a year and a half, but I had been doing restorations for 5 years. Yeah, I was just like, all right, well, I want to do this. I want to see where it goes. So I decided to go 100% and just go all in.
Yeah, you're all in.
It's been great. Yeah, yeah. Led me to Atlanta. It's been pretty good here so far. Still getting acclimated, but you know, the pandemic kind of ruined it for me. But
yes, pandemic hit hard, but keep going. We love the hustle. The hustle never done. So can you break down the process of reconstructing a shoe? Like, how long does it take?
The class that I hold is 4 days, right? So we spend 8 to 10 hours a day taking the shoe apart, learning how to deconstruct it so that if you have pieces that you want to reuse, you don't destroy them when you take the shoe apart. Pattern making, we go through like a sewing boot camp. So by the end of the 4 days, these students know how to sew. And that's like 40 hours. I made a Jordan 4 Toy Story. That took me 2 to 3 weeks, somewhere around there. So depending on how I felt, I would say 60 hours, but I probably worked a little bit more on it because at the time I had a studio that was like 3 blocks away from where I was staying. So what I used to do is like, if I really wanted to like work on something, I set my futon up in my studio and then I work for a little bit. And, you know, I look at the clock, it's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I'm like, all right, I'm about to get like 2 hours of sleep and then I get back up and then I start working again. So yeah, I would say somewhere around 60 hours it just depends on what you're doing and I guess the complexity of the design, because it does take a while. Like that's the process of me actually making the shoe. That doesn't include me thinking about what silhouette I'm going to do, how I'm going to design it, what the colors are, what the materials are going to be. And, I'm working on a shoe now that took me 3 months to think about designing. You know, things have just changed over time. So I come up with one idea and then I'm like, okay, I sit on it for a little bit. And I'm like, okay, once I have the silhouette, then it's like, okay, well, what colorways do I want to go with and where the color was going to be placed and what materials am I going to choose? So now I'm there, I have everything now, but it's going to take me a while to actually put it together. And things might change as I'm putting it together too. So I've had that happen where, you know, I've gotten to putting together a shoe 75, 80% of the shoe, and either I don't like it or whatever kind of material I'm using, it's not gonna work well. It's not gonna look well. The shoes that I make also too, I want them to function. So I don't just use like materials that like, you know, it's just a shoe and it's just sit in the case. You know what I mean? I want it to actually be functional and be able to wear it a few times. You know what I mean? So so a lot of that goes into the design process, and it's not something that is quick. There are classes out there that are 4 and 5 days long. To basically just give you just an understanding of the process, you know what I mean? Give you enough just to learn exactly what all goes into it. And then when you're on your own, then you start to see, okay, now this takes a little bit longer. And then you have the learning curve of doing everything, how to cut your leather, how to choose your leather, all these things come into play.
Wow. So this is not for the weak. You gotta be dedicated to this.
For sure. I mean, I enjoy it. When I started, I was just going to New York, walking in leather shops. I had no idea what I was even looking at, the cost of things, but just me jumping on the train from New Jersey, you know, 50-minute ride, and just going every so often, every week, just going in, seeing what I like, seeing what works. You know, I just learned over time, and I established relationships with some of these leather shops. And it's been fun learning. I'm still learning, actually. You know, even when I'm teaching, you know, I'm still I'm making the shoe over and over again. I'm still teaching myself, you know, the Jordan 1. But no, it's fun, you know, until you get into like exotics. You start getting into like alligator skin and python and things like that, then it starts to get expensive.
I can imagine. So you said your classes are 4 days. Are they beginner friendly, or is there like a prerequisite that you need to?
No. So like they're all beginner friendly. I've been to 3 classes. So I learned from the shoe surgeon. So I was in his very first class, and then I took 2 after that. So I used basically my experience and everything that I felt, the anxiety and everything, and I kind of just like make my students feel a little bit more comfortable and not intimidated, as you know, they're not used to sitting for 8 to 10 hours, you know, just at a desk and hunched over and making a pattern and taking the shoe apart. And I remember when I went to my first class, I was like, I took a Jordan 5 with me, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna make like the perfect shoe on the first class. All the stitching is gonna be perfect and everything. And it was a complete opposite. So yeah, I try to make it really user friendly, and make the students feel comfortable, and just remind them that, you know, it's the first time that they're trying something new. So don't be hard on yourself to make the perfect shoe in this class. It's going to take a lot of practice, you know what I mean, with the sewing and things like that. But I teach them how to use their machine. I teach them how to thread the machine. Usually if there's any problems with the machine, I show them how to also fix it on the sewing machine that I recommend to them. Yeah, it goes pretty well. No experience needed. At the end of the 4 days, you'll know how to sew. You'll know how to take a shoe apart and make your patterns, cutting your leather. You'll feel very comfortable and confident.
Good. Okay. I'll think about that one. Maybe, you know, one day I'm in Atlanta, or I'm there for a bit, you know, join a class.
Hey, pull up.
Oh, okay. I see. I saw one of the shoes that you reconstructed, the Chicago ones. You put the glitter.
Oh yeah.
That is crazy.
Oh, Trippin' and Oz. Yeah, I made that.
So
the glitter fabric. Where
did you like get that idea? Let me just, you know, spice it up with some glitter and.
I had saw some other shoes being made with this, with that material, and I was just fascinated with it. Plus, I like the Chicago colorway. Before I made that shoe, a couple months before, I made a Travis Scott Chicago out of croc skin. And I think it got reposted by Soul Collector or something like that on it was like Super Bowl night. I forget what year that was, but yeah, so I made one of those, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep going. I think around that time I got inspired by the Nike Sakai. I think it's the waffle racer, and it had like the double checks on it. So I was like, all right, well, this is different. Like I like the Travis Scott, that's the wave right now, so I'm running with that. But I want to make like something different, and I think the Astro World was out too. That was going on. That played a part in it. So I wanted to like play with that theme and use like the Wizard of Oz theme, because it's Astro World and Wizard of Oz kind of made me feel like it was the same. So I was like, all right, we can go with this white and red, the ruby red slippers, and then we'll just do like some crazy like checks on the side. But yeah, that's where the inspiration came from. That.
So you made those. Do people hit you up and like, I want that, like something like that?
Yeah, so I get inquiries all the time about making shoes. I made another pair of Toy Story shoes for a client, and he was going to Disney World, and he actually took pictures in front of like the Toy Story like ride, and I guess the theme park area with Toy Story in front of Woody, because the shoes are basically they look like Woody, and they have Andy on the bottom of them.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
But yeah, I've made a couple shoes for a couple people, and most of the things that I do make are usually for myself. I like rocking different sneakers that nobody else has on, so I make them and then I just put them on Instagram. And then if people want to order a pair, then yeah, they can order a pair. I'll definitely make a pair for someone.
Great, I like it. I love the hustle. So tell me, what is your definition of a sneakerhead, if you use that term?
I don't really use the term,
right.
But
what term do you use? Lover? Enthusiast?
I'd probably say enthusiast, lover, because I pretty much wear all of my shoes. So if I see something, and I like it, I go buy it. I'm anxious to wear it. I don't let it just sit, you know. Because I restore sneakers too. I restore sneakers for people that do let sneakers sit, storage units, and then by the time they bring them to me, like, you know, they open the box and there's nothing but dust, and you know, it's just falling apart. So, gotta wear your shoes. Gotta wear your shoes.
Thank you. Wear your shoes, people.
I guess, like, you know, the definition of like a sneakerhead is just somebody who just likes sneakers, no matter the brand. You know, some of us are sneaker snobs and kind of just stick to Nike and Jordan. And then there's just other people that, you know, they have their brand they like. You know, I used to be on Nike and Jordan. I now have like Adidas and Reebok, Li Ning. What else am I looking at? I'm looking at Solomon sneakers now. Like, I never thought I would be looking at those shoes, but they look good to me. So, you know.
Diverse style, right?
Right.
Not just the hype.
Plus now everything's harder to get, so I'm looking at other brands, you know, to kind of make cool, I guess.
What is your take on the difficulty of getting a pair?
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, especially for, you know, someone, you know, like me that kind of just grew up in the 90s and 2000s. Walking into a sneaker store, I remember walking into a sneaker store in 2003 or 2004 and getting the Flint 13s at, like, I don't know, I think it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they still had pairs. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, it's frustrating. I understand it. I hope Nike's working on it, but I see the business side of it. I understand it. But, you know, here and there, I try. You know, I put in for the, I didn't care too much about them, but I put in for the Fragment Travis Scott's. Didn't win on any raffles. Or even the Yeezys, the Yeezy slides. I put in for it. Didn't win on those either. No, I can't complain. I mean, the sneakers, I know some people that have never won on Sneakers app. And I mean, I got Off-White, the Off-White Vapor shoes. I got the pink one, the yellow, the blue, Off-White 5s. I've got some other sneakers too. So I can't complain about it. I'm just not on it that much anymore because I'm just busy making my own shoes now. But, you know, every once in a while I'll pop on like the Sneakers app and I'll try to get something that I really want. You know, it is what it is. You know, I think I've been through that, like, emotion where everything was like really happening, where I was like really angry. Now you're catching me on like the tail end of it. It's like, all right.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Right.
Okay, last question before we start kicking it. How many pairs do you have?
I stopped counting at 180, so it may be 200, maybe somewhere around there.
Wow.
Something like that. Before I moved to Atlanta, I had sold some of my stuff to kind of like downsize because I noticed that there were just shoes that I just wasn't wearing. So I got rid of them. Like, okay, I went through my collection. I'm like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. I could let these go for whatever. And now I narrowed it down. And of course, I've added to it now, but, you know, so a solid 200 somewhere around there.
That's still a lot. Okay, so I'm going to sneak this one in. Of the 200, how many are ones that you reconstructed?
There are none of that 200 that I reconstructed. So I still have, I mean, all of my reconstructed shoes, like I usually rip them apart after I make them. So I'll wear them a few times. You know, the excitement's there when I make the shoe. And then I wear it. I'm like, okay, I'm over this. Now I want to design something else. So, okay, I'll tear the sole off and I'll make something else and put it back on that new sole. So now the other shoe that I had before, I just trashed it, you know. So it's kind of a way of saving money too from buying $200 sneakers because I'm a size 11 and a half. So my shoes aren't that cheap. If I got to buy them and just for the sole, I'm spending $200, $250 just to take it apart and use the sole. You know what I mean? So I reuse the soles that I make new shoes on. But no, I have a couple on the side that are probably like 6 or 7 pair that I make. You know, I wear them around the house or something like that, like a house shoe.
No, that's smart. You are saving money and then also working on your crafts.
Yes.
I like it. Okay. All right. So let's start kicking it.
All right.
What are your top 3 pairs? And if you have them, we want to see them.
So this one's like my favorite. This is probably one of those other childhood shoes that I could remember. I don't have like a childhood like memory connected to it, but I remember seeing this shoe for the first time, and then I was like, all right, yeah, I really, really like this. So this is definitely my like favorite shoe, and I think I've had like 4 pair of these things. The LeBron 9 Big Bang. I don't really wear this one that often, but I should, because I really like this shit. I really like this. Probably my Jordan Blue Ice 8. This is a women's shoe, but it's a size 11 in men's. It's like a 13 in women's. I was looking for it. I like those. I like the 8s a lot. I like a lot of sneakers from the 90s too. So, like Penny Hardaway's, Air Max 1s, the Penny 2s, the Diamond Turfs, Deion Sanders. I got a couple of shoes from the 90s.
Wow. Okay, so are there any past releases that you wish you caught?
I really like that the taupe Jordan 4 with the cracked suede on it, and then everybody was doing like the sanding to it. I really like that shit. The Sakai's for sure. The maroon color is the one that I like, and the purple. Oh man, and there's yellow and green too. So yeah. all of them. Yeezy foam runners. For some reason, I want a pair of those and the slides. The foam runners are cool. I like the blue mineral, and then there was the other one that was the marble. Yeah.
Would go online and maybe get them resale price.
Me? Would I get them resale price? Nah, man. I'm retail or die.
I get it. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it depends. It depends. Because even the Big Bangs that I have now, like I bought those, but it's been a while since I bought those. I mean, I think I bought those for $300 at the time, something like that. No, the shoe's $80. I mean, it's like $300 right now. Like, no.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I can't see myself spending, $300, $400 for $80 like foam shoe.
Understood.
Right.
Okay, so are there any upcoming releases that you plan on going for?
Oh, the Wave Runners are coming out in a couple days. I gotta try and get those. I really like that. That whole line. Except for like I think it's the all black one is the only one that I don't like. That one and the magnet, I think it is. It's called the magnet, yeah, because it has a gum bottom, and I like shoes that have gum bottom soles.
Oh.
So any sneaker that has a gum bottom sole, I totally love.
Okay, so I will be watching your page to see if you get those pairs. I'm sending you all the luck.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it. No L's over here, hopefully.
All right.
No.
You answered the kicking it questions. Now it's time for soul or troll. All right. So I'm gonna ask you a question. You just answer honestly.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna check it out here. Ooh. Okay. Would you rather someone see all the photos in your phone or read all of your text messages?
Huh. That's easy. You can see all the photos on my phone.
Okay, so your phone is safe.
It's safe. It's very safe.
Pictures of shoes.
Yep.
All right.
And screenshots. So that's usually how I do my vision board. That's kind of how I do it because I'm always in my phone. So I use my screenshots as a vision board. So I'll go through my photos, and when I'm trying to draw inspiration or, just go back to something I saw earlier during the day that I didn't have time to kind of like sit there and study for a minute, I'll go back at the end of the day and just look at my photos and see what I was looking at. Screenshots and photos of my son, probably.
You got a safe phone, so you're good. But not the text messages. Text messages are safe.
No. Wow. The chats and like, God.
Yeah, and the pictures in those chats.
Yeah, that too. But that's not me.
Oh man, well, you kicked it with me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, anytime.
Is there anything that's coming up that you want us to know about?
Well, the next class will be here in Atlanta. It's gonna be September 16th to the 19th. I do have like the way that people can sign up is they can click on the link in my bio and Instagram and sign up through there for that class. It will be for the Jordan 1 high, and then possibly playing around with doing a class for the Jordan 3 in October. But I'm still playing around with that idea. But the Jordan 1 class is for sure going to be coming September 16th to the 19th.
All right, well, keep up the hustle.
Okay, thank you for having me.
No problem, and I guess I will kick it with you another time.
All right. Bye.